Good morning. It is around 7 a.m. on Saturday morning. So we're going to this beach called Clayton Beach. It's like a 10-15 minute drive outside of Bellingham, Washington, which is like an hour outside of Seattle, in between Seattle and Vancouver, Canada. And to get down to this beach, we gotta walk on this pretty dense forest trail for 15-20 minutes, head over some train tracks, and then we'll get down to the water. Okay, I made it down to the beach. It is your typical Pacific Northwest rocky coast beach. Not a lot of sand at all. But here we are. I was just here last week actually filming probably the video that I posted a week before this on photographing layers in your pictures, so be sure to check that out. And in that video, there's some clips of some heron flying around, and that has brought me back here to try and focus on just capturing those, and if we're lucky they're here again today, but who knows. I'm headed back to the spot I shot at before. Let's go check it out. So last week the heron were pretty much all in just this little bay right here. And as you can see, they are not there right now, which is okay. I kind of have a bit of a backup plan. When I was walking to this spot last week and today, I saw all these little crabs kind of like burrowing from under the sand into these like little ponds and stuff. I think it would be really challenging to capture, but that's kind of why I'm excited to do it. So that is the backup plan today. And while we're doing that, I'll keep an eye out for the heron, and if they come back, then we'll be ready for them. Okay, I'm just filming on the GoPro right now because I've got the whole setup going on here. But this is pretty cool. It's not what I came here for, but I'm enjoying it a lot. I think part of the challenge of it is that they really just kind of burrow down, and you don't know when they're gonna come back up, if they come back up, and they're just like all over this pond. They blend in really easily with all these rocks, and so it's like a challenge to kind of find them at first, and then tracking them is its own difficult process, and then trying to get footage on top of it all. But it's very fun, and it's super interesting how much you can learn about an animal if you just like sit and watch their behavior for, I've only been here like 20 minutes, and I actually don't even know what these actually are, just little like hermit crabs. But it's so interesting. I feel like I've already learned so much about, you know, how they act. I think they're just starting to wake up now. There's more and more of them starting to pop up. And I took some footage of this earlier, but all of these like ripples that come up in the water, it's not raining. So each one of those ripples is like a slight movement from these hermit crabs just like scattered across this whole little wet section here. Super fun. I'm gonna keep shooting. The herons are still nowhere to be found, so I'm not sure what their movement patterns are week to week, but I think we might have missed them this time. That's okay though. We've moved on to hermit crabs. Okay, the sun is coming out a little bit now, so we've got some reflections going on just on the edge of the water. I'm gonna grab some lens filters to go on, well, just one, and this should hopefully block out some of the reflections, that way we can focus a bit easier on what's going on underneath the water. The crabs kind of give me the heebie-jeebies a little bit. They're kind of like spiders, like underwater spiders. Their movements are just like super unpredictable. Like my feet are in the water, and so I'm looking 3 feet away from myself, but I can kind of like feel them moving around sometimes, and just hoping that they're not gonna run up my leg and make me drop my camera in the water. I stepped away so I wouldn't scare him off, but my camera has been honed in on this one shell for like 6-7 minutes now, because it's just non-stop action. It feels like a group of siblings fighting over one toy, even though they've got bins and bins of toys all around them. There's shells across this whole entire pond, but for some reason these like 5 or 6 crabs all want this one in particular. It's kind of amusing, and I can't take the camera off of it. Other than that though, not too much to update. Sometimes photography is tough, especially when I'm making videos of photography, because some things are just better videos than photos. And I feel like this is one of those things. I really haven't taken that many pictures because I feel like a video is just so much better for something like this. Still trying to figure that out, kind of that balance. The filter is working much better, which is nice. Kind of blocks out a lot of the light reflections of the sky, which I'm just not interested in right now. And I didn't talk about it much before. We've got my 70 to 200 lens on right now. f2.8, which is perfect for getting these little moments. But yeah, that's kind of it. There's some people starting to show up along the beach, but we are in our own little world, capturing this little world. So I'm just gonna keep going here and we'll see what happens. Okay, I'm trying out some handheld. I wanted to get some photos, and I think the tripod was just getting in the way, and I kind of just wanted to keep taking videos on the tripod. So we switched to handheld to get back into this kind of photography mindset here. And I'm learning that I've got to start using my portraiture knowledge for these crabs. Instead of just kind of looking for the crabs, I've got to find a good frame and maybe wait for a crab to kind of get in that general area, or at least in a lighting sense. I want the crab's face to be lit up instead of be a silhouette. So I'm going to be shooting this way so the sun is behind me. And I'm going to take some portraits of these little guys. Wow, who knew photographing crabs would be so much fun? I don't know what it is. I think it's like, it's really hard to find them. You have to find them with your eyes and then track them to be able to find them with the camera, which is really hard. It might not sound like it's difficult, but to find that exact spot with your zoom lens can be really tricky. So I think it's just that it's hard to do, which I'm finding so fun, and then that makes it that much more rewarding if you get some good pictures, which I think I did. Okay, I waited for far too long for these birds, but I'm not complaining, it's been nice. That'll do it for this video. Turned into a crab video, which I enjoyed. Hopefully that was entertaining to watch. And yeah, sometimes when things don't go as planned, they can end up even better, honestly. So had some fun doing that. We'll have to do that at another location at some point again as well. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.